Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. It's Scott with Save Our Shops Louisiana on the LA Biz SOS podcast. And we are coming back to you after the July 4th holiday. This year, the holiday really hit different for me as July 2nd, I got married. Thank you. The most wonderful woman in the world, of course. And then 2 days later, we rolled straight into the 250th anniversary of the United States with a 4th of July celebration at my place. We had family in from out of town. The house was packed. The grill was running nonstop. We lit up the sky with fireworks. The neighborhood was loud. It was chaotic. It was patriotic. Everything you would want a 4th of July weekend to be, we had. But now the smoke is cleared and the last guest has gone home. Life is finally getting back into something that looks like normal. And it's time to talk business, specifically the update that everyone asked me over the 4th of July, as well as in the interim, what's going on with the specialty construction company that you are working to acquire. So let's get into that. Let's get into an update and where things stand right now. We are officially in underwriting at a regional bank. And that means the deal is past the early send us your document stage. We're past the surface level checks. Now it's the credit team doing the deep dive, the underwriting team, the real analysis. And they are going to be looking at my financials as well as business financials, tax returns, cash flow stability, collateral that's going into the loan, my guarantor profile, as well as the structure of the deal. And if you've ever been through underwriting, you know exactly what this feels like. You've done everything you can. You've sent every document they asked for and explanations where requested. And now we wait. It's like waiting for test results, right? Confident, but I still check my email 20 times a day to see if they have any other questions and what happens next, right? So once underwriting wraps up, things really should start to move very fast. And thanks to the seller transition plan that we've put together, we already have a 13-week roadmap laid out. And I'm just going to review how that breaks down. First phase, we have orientation and documentation. So for me, this is the first couple of weeks of being on site. Once this deal closes, we'll do, a kickoff type meeting and introductions with staff, of course, the key document handover. So the various insurance documents and contracts and agreements with vendors and key customers and things of that nature. Facility walkthrough and asset inventory, financial records review, the P&L, accounts receivable, accounts payable, customer database and CRM transfer so that we can begin some other marketing campaigns and begin working on pricing strategies. This phase is all about getting grounded, right? Really learning the business from the inside out, not eager to make changes until I understand what makes it successful today. Then for me, weeks 3 and 4 is a supplier and operations transfer. This is where real operational knowledge starts flowing. I'll shadow the seller on the daily operations, really start to understand what he does on a daily basis, understand and document the supplier and vendor information, as well as handle introductions with them, pricing and estimating, structure review. How does the current seller put together pricing today? What does that model look like? And really understanding how that works, the process of it. Is there a software that helps do it? Which I know there is. So there's a software that helps do it. Training on that software, for example, understanding how that works from setup to actually preparing a quote. And the setup is important because I want to know if I make changes to it, what does that do to the current pricing model? So then also in weeks 3 and 4, reviewing the active projects and pipeline, getting a clear understanding of the projects that are going on, as well as the sales activity that's going on to increase the pipeline, and then the equipment and tools. And this is the learning how the sausage is made phase, understanding how the business actually runs day to day. Or I guess here in Louisiana, some of my good friends might say, how to pepper that gumbo. And then in weeks 5 through 8, or phase three, we'll start the active handoff. This is where I start taking the wheel and letting the owner sit in the passenger seat, watching and correcting me, such as first customer consultation, first installation oversight, understanding what's going on in the field, social media and marketing, website, other advertising accounts, and then bank account and payment system transition. By the end of this phase, I'm not just watching, I'm operating. And this will be a good time for me to actually feel more confident in reference to running the business. And then 9 weeks, 9 through 11, some independent operation, right? This is where the training wheels really come off, fully independent on operations. The seller's available for Q&A. We'll set up maybe some weekly or twice weekly meetings to review the things that I'm doing, to make sure I'm not letting things fall through gaps. We'll do a full financial reconciliation and a non compete and confidentiality confirmation. And this is where the seller really steps back, but they continue to stay available for support, which is important to me. I think it's important to the seller. He wants to know that his business is going to be cared for. And then weeks 12 and 13, we'll do closeout, sign off. This is the finish line, the final review, the seller official exit and farewell, post transition documentation, filing, and the 90-day transition's complete. So by the end of week 13, the business is fully mine, it's fully stabilized. And then, we can get busy working on growing the operations, and seeing where we end up from there. But that's the plan once we get through underwriting. In the meantime, what am I doing? So even though underwriting is really out of my hands, I'm not just sitting around. I'm prepping for every phase of that 90-day plan. So right now I'm getting ready for the facility walkthrough, reviewing the asset inventory list, organizing the financial records for the phase one review that we talked about, pre-planning supplier and vendor introductions, reviewing active projects and the pipeline, um, preparing questions that I have about pricing and estimating structure, mapping out my first customer consultation, planning the bank account and payment setup for the new company. I'm drafting a marketing plan or a marketing transfer plan, and building out my first 90 days of operational strategy while I'm on my own. So, this part is really about patience, which I know everybody hates, but we got to wait and follow the steps. But it's also about preparation, make sure that I am ready once that approval comes in, that we're able to move forward as quickly as possible. I don't want to get approved and then start figuring things out. I want to hit the ground running as soon as we can. So that's really the update of what's going on. Again, it was a great holiday. I hope all of you had a great and safe holiday out there. Episode 20, and this is all about giving you the update, looking at what that business acquisition actually feels like. It's not instant, doesn't happen as quickly as I would like it to, or anybody would like it to. It's not glamorous, and it's not a straight line, but it is progress. And right now, we're in one of the most important stages of the entire deal. And as soon as I hear back from the bank on this part of the deal, you'll hear back from me. So if you're following along on my progress to acquire Louisiana companies, make sure you hit that follow, subscribe buttons, support our social media. This shows that you support our mission at Save Our Shop Louisiana, and we'll see you next week.